we must unite. But how do we unite? I think we should unite by agreeing that we need some vehicles to drive us in our journey to of our dreams. We want to get somewhere in Nigeria. How do we get there? We have Ohaneze Ndim. Ohaneze is an umbrella association. In fact, it was between me and Chief Chekwas Okorie that we drafted the first constitution of Ohaneze in Enugu under the chairmanship then of Sheikh John Nneamud. I was a junior in his chambers at that time. And what Ohaneze stood for, we thought Ohaneze was going to be an association that would be a clearinghouse for all Igbo interests. They have all manner of branches and so on, every ward, local government and so on. So we thought Ohaneze would drive the unity of the Igbos, to drive their progress. But maybe that desire is not being met because politicians came into Ohaneze and maybe hijacked the dream of a people, and then we are not realizing exactly what we bargained for. But that does not entirely mean the Igbos are not united. I do see our unity in many places. Speaking historically, if the Igbos were not a united people, why did we die for each other during the war? People sacrificed. We have heroes, those who died for us to be here. Those who died for us are Igbos. There are those, I remember when someone like Professor Ben Nwabeze was Secretary of Education under the military regime. I don't know whether I can't remember the regime now, but he was Secretary of Education. During that time, some state institutions were elevated, were taken over by the federal government, like the College of Education in Hamufu, like the Oko Polytechnic. They were taken over. I think even somewhere in Owerri, in Imo State. Avanikoko. So this was something done by an Igbo man with a vision. He came into the system, saw there was, I don't want to use the common language, marginalization. He saw it in the system, used his brilliance to convince the leadership that they need to correct this anomaly, and brought these institutions on board. And federal government, I can assure you that if an institution like the Federal College of Education at Ihamufu had been left in the hands of the state, maybe by now it would have died because the state was not funding it well. But the moment the federal government took over, it breathed life into that institution, and it took a totally new outlook. So we do have heroes who have shown that the Igbos are not as disunited as we think, because it is the patriotic feeling and the unity, the desire for unity in him that made him go from one Igbo state to the other, picking this institution. Ben Nwabeze came from Anambra State, but he didn't concentrate those things in, and he went round. And there are many other examples of people who have been in positions and tried to reflect an Igbo unity. My base in Enugu to anywhere, and I hear a language spoken as Igbo, I get easily excited. And once I ask the person, how far? The person immediately at home. Like last October, I was in Lagos. I spent two months in Lagos. I went to Alaba International Market, and I saw a large community of Igbos. I was so excited in the market. Every other person was speaking Igbo. You will never believe you were in Lagos. I thought I was in Onitsha or Ajaba. And I asked, why are there so many? It's not that I have not seen anything. But if I go to Aspanda, that I will see much more the presence of Igbos. And in that place, I saw brotherhood. One nekedika men can, one nekedika men cause. And when I finished, I said, is there anywhere around here an Igbo woman cooks food that I can eat? They took me to one woman they called Nwanyi Shida in a plaza near the place. So I got engaged in a conversation with the woman. I said, Madam, how did you manage to own this place? And the woman told me, I haven't seen anything. That she has been here for years, that they have a house back there, that people, all these places I'm seeing are open, including the plaza where she was, very mighty plaza. And I was at home. I ate her delicious meal and with asa fish and both takeaway when I was leaving. Why was I so relaxed? It was Igbo unity. I believed that I saw a sister and that I was at home with her. So when we talk about Igbos disunited, politicians cannot be the true and the only representative of the Igbos. With all due respect to Chief Mrs. Amini. There are Igbos, we are Igbos. There are Igbos relating with each other as brothers and sisters on the ground. And those who want to deceive people, who are more transactional, they go out there and be creating the impression that we are not united because of their personal, selfish interests. And how do we project them as our ambassadors? Are they the people represent? Did we send them? They are not representing us to the best of my knowledge. I tell you something. In 2023, in fact, I was the pioneer state legal advisor of PDP in Enugu State. We formed PDP under late Dr. Alex Ekweme, Dr. Kusleze, who was the first national secretary. Kusleze was from my cousin and from the Wait local government. I'm your in-law anyway because Nneanwodo, the former President General of Ohanese, married from Abaga, she's Odinwodo. They were my sponsors when I was there. And if you come to our village, just about 5 houses from mine, you see in my state. So we are cousins. And when the PDP had been enjoying the loyalty of Igbos from inception, when they zoned well, we thought that by 2023 it was the turn of the Igbos to produce the presidential candidate of PDP. To our greatest shock, it did not happen. And I got so angry about it as a person. Because I thought that P2B would have just been, in fact, he would take it automatically. When it did not happen, some of us got so angry that I almost vowed that I will never be part of PDP in my life. Then, when Obi found in Labour Party, we all went there to support him. And I said, please do not confuse what I'm not a politician. I'm a legal practitioner. But I have interest in who leads me. Do you understand?
Yes.
I have interest in who becomes my leader. So, when they could not give it to Obi, we followed Obi to where he went to support him. And some Igbos, political-minded Igbos, were singing a different. They were not going to be, because I think this one agrees with those who say there's Igbo lack of Igbo unity. Those who were not going to run for president, they don't belong. In fact, they don't have aspiration. They are not going to be there. Yet they didn't want Obi to go. And we said, what kind of thing is this? All they wanted to do was to be loyal to some masters for the purpose of gaining from it. But at the end of the day, by and large, gentlemen, my people, didn't the Igbos speak in that election with one voice? Because you have to agree that there is no way, if Jesus as God picked only 12 and 1, despite his warning to him that you are going to betray, you are going to do this, he still did it. So why? What are we saying? You cannot eliminate 100% dissent. But the fact that somebody is dissenting does not mean that the majority are disunited. The Igbos I have, if you ask me, the Igbos are the most united ethnic group in Nigeria. Yes, because I have seen it over and over. Once we say